Hello, my name is David Baker, and I'm running for Murray County Mayor. This video will be a little bit longer, but the topic is so important. I have a master's degree in education and school administration. My wife has a master's degree in education in secondary ed with teaching fields in English and music. We love education, and God gave us 11 children with which to teach. We have an opportunity to teach them at home, and it's been a blessing. Not everyone can do that. They don't feel like they're capable, or they're busy and they have to work. And so that puts us in the public schools. One of the best things that we can do to make Murray County the best place to raise a family is to have good schools. Before people look at moving to a place, they look and see what the schools, how the schools are. They look and see what their education is, their test scores. They check and see what the discipline and things are like, and many things are hard. When I put out a post just a little bit ago about schools and issues, one of the biggest things I got back was what I thought: school bullying. One of the toughest things about being a kid is being in a school and being bullied. When you ask a group of kids how many of them have been bullied, so many have, and it's horrific. It is really, really hard. Just the other day, before anyone knew that we were running, I got a message from a lady that said, "Would you ask your wife if she could homeschool my daughter? She is so bullied at school, she doesn't even want to eat and doesn't know what to do." We're not allowed to homeschool somebody else's child, but boy, you hurt for them. Here's a little girl, sweet little girl, having to go to school and being bullied, and she can't even eat because of that. What could be done? One lady that reached out to me said she literally took her children out of the public schools to homeschool them because of that issue, because her children were coming home every day being bullied. Literally took her kids out of the system. She had to quit her job to homeschool her son because her son was so bullied. That's horrible. When I brought this up to the mayor when I was in his office, he goes, "Oh, yes, it is." He pulled up his phone, showed an email. He said, "Just got an email about school bullying and the issues there." I believe we could work with the superintendent and the teachers and the principals and the parents to be able to make a difference. A couple years ago, I was consumed with that because with all the school shootings that had happened, they look at the profile, and every one of them was a bullied kid that was distraught and down and became angry and bitter and brought guns and shot up the school. And boy, what a sad thing. Those hurt kids, those bullied kids, if we could reach them and help them and make a difference in them and let them not be bullied, what could be done? How much better off would they be? How much better would the school be and the atmosphere and environment? What could be done? I spent some time thinking, meditating, praying, and asking God to give me an answer to be able to help. It's a long story of how it goes into, and I won't go into all that. But I felt like God gave me a plan that would help. When I was looking up all about bullying, there are a lot of programs. You can look them up yourself. And they all say, and I was shocked, that none of the bullying programs work. The government programs they have, the school programs they have, the nonprofit programs that they have, they're even honest and say we are doing our best, but they don't work. How come? Because every program includes, logically, telling authority. If you're being bullied, tell your parents. If you're being bullied, tell a teacher. If you're being bullied, tell the principal. If you're being bullied, tell a coach. Tell somebody. And you understand, if you're being bullied and now you tell somebody that you're being bullied, now what? You're dead meat. It's over. Not only are you going to be bullied more, but you're a rat. You're a snitch. And they really take it out of them. And they know that. And so they don't. They live in fear because of that. Now, what's the education level going to be like? How well is a kid going to be able to function and think about the test that he's taken when he knows at recess he's got somebody that's threatening to beat him up as soon as he goes to recess? It's a scary thing. If you could put yourself back there as being a kid, did you have that? When we moved from Santa Fe, Tennessee, in the school district there, I got in 2 fights in the whole time I was there with, if you know, they're twins, Ronnie and Donnie Gordon. Good guys, we're friends. But it was Ronnie Gordon in the bathroom. We got in a couple fights, and as you know, for boys, right after that, we're good friends. When we moved in the middle of 6th grade year, I got in 6 fights the first week. Bullied, pushed around, problems. It was a mess. I hated it. I hated school, hated moving, hated leaving my friends. My friends and I would send a cassette tape back and forth of messages. I would listen to their message and record a message to them, and I would send it back. And the teacher, Mrs. Riggins, would play it to the whole class, and then they would make a message back to me. We did that the whole rest of the year because I was so homesick for our farm and our school in Tennessee, and being bullied was just horrific. What could we do to be able to help that? I want to show you something that I put together, get a chance to go look at it. Attached here is an executive summary to a club. It's called the Protectors Club. A couple years ago, I put it together. My son-in-law is our youth director and a super guy. He was a quarterback on the football team, and he helped when other kids were bullied. And we wrote a book together. It's almost ready to be published. The executive summary you can download and read. And I want you to watch the 2 videos associated with that. That will give you a big idea of what we'd like to do. What we'd like to do is to put a club in every school with the football team as the core and the start of it, called the Protectors Club. Football teams are already taught to be protectors. You protect that ball. You protect your quarterback. You protect that weak side. They're already taught to be protectors. So how about if they become the protectors for the school? What do? Simply, Proverbs 31 is a book from the mother of Solomon to her son, telling him what to do. She said, first, son, don't give your strength to women. There'll be a time for that. And then, son, don't drink alcohol. It's not for kings. And then she said, son, open your mouth and plead the cause for the poor and the needy. And the other verse talks about the disabled. Son, open your mouth. Back then, there was a big, in the school shootings, still talked about toxic masculinity. And they're trying to take the masculinity away from our boys and make them more feminine. No, God made boys and men to be masculine for a reason, not to hurt, but to help. Not to cause pain, but to protect. We are to protect our wives, our children, our freedom, our country. And God made men masculine so they would do that. Solomon's mother is telling him, son, you use your strength. You use your influence. You use your authority. You use your masculinity, and you open your mouth, and you plead the cause for the poor and the needy. What happens if someone's being bullied and 2 football players come up and say, hey, leave him alone? What? Leave him alone. We said leave him alone. What happens? They leave him alone. And then to the bullied kid, they say, hey, come sit with us at lunch. What? Sit with the football team? You're accepted and protected. The Protectors Club. Is it legal to start a Christian school inside a public school, or a Christian club inside of a public school? Absolutely. 1984 Free Access Act, I believe it's called. They can't discriminate against somebody based on their religion to have a club. To have a club in the school, all it has to be is voluntary and have a teacher or a coach as a sponsor. And so we would like to be able to do that. One of the education initiatives that I would like to bring forth as county mayor is to try to help the bullying in the schools by helping to put a Protectors Club in every school. As a pastor, I have a little influence that could help that. As a county mayor, I believe I would have a lot of influence to help. Now, as a county mayor, the schools are not under his purview. That's not something of which I would have authority over, but it was something that I would have influence with. That we could get the teachers together, the principals together, and say, hey, here's what we'd like to do. Is there a teacher or a coach that'd like to sponsor this? That's great. Let's meet with the football team. Let's get them on board. Let's get them started. And they become the protectors for the school. In the grade school, we take the highest grade that's in that school, 4th, 5th grade, whatever it is, and we do the same thing to them. And we explain to them, you guys are to be the protectors. God made you the biggest and the oldest so you can protect and look out. Never get in a fight, never confront anybody physically. You just open your mouth and plead the cause. And as you know, most of the time, that's all that has to happen. So what I would like you to do is to download the executive summary. It talks about it. Go to the website, theprotectorsclub.com or theprotectors.club. Both of those will go to that site. Look at the information and see that. And then pray about, hey, boy, wouldn't that be awesome to have in our school? So we can get with teachers and get with coaches and get with parents and get with students and to do something positive. The reason why this works is it is peer pressure positively. Positive peer pressure is one of the strongest things that can ever help. We know peer pressure negative. Hey, let's drink, let's do drugs, let's do this. It's a negative peer pressure. But when you have positive peer pressure, trying to encourage people to do good and do right, it helps and it works. And that's what we want to do, to be able to have that positive peer pressure. My son-in-law, Brother Tim, that wrote the book with me, we met with one of the coaches in town, and we shared that with him. We told him we had a bullying program we wanted to talk to him about. And he said he almost didn't meet with us because he said none of them work. And he knew that. When we shared this with him, he got a big smile and nodded, and he said, this will work. Whenever you're ready, let me know. This would work. And so it's a beautiful thing. One of the reasons when I felt like, okay, God, is this something you want me to do? This was one of the things God put in his mind. As county mayor, you're going to be able to help the business of the county and the growth and the people and all those kinds of things. But the future of our country, the future of our county, are those kids in that school. And some of them are so badly bullied, so badly hurt and put down. It's going to mess them up for the rest of their life. You ought to be able to go to school and have fun and learn and grow and get a great education and not to have to worry about being bullied. If you have a question, you can email me, davidbakerformayor @gmail.com. We'd be glad to talk to you about it. If you're at a school and you say, hey, let's do this, let's work on it, let's get this going, I would love to be able to work with you and help that. I think the potential that we would have to be able to make a difference in our school and with the bullying will be incredible. God bless you, and thank you for taking the time to listen to this video.